Looking at you. Uh-oh. I hear symphonies in my head. I wrote this song just looking at you. Oh. Hi. Hi. I know.
Everything has
Dehydrated, and I wish we had water that worked.
There might be bottles somewhere, like in the nurse's office.
They're kind of rushing. They give you a cup of water.
Hi.
You're right.
I thought about you because I heard Baby Gadsden go by and he's like, "Can I go to the nurse? I need a drink of water and this thing isn't working." I was like, "Oh boy, that is annoying."
It's so loud.
It's so loud. It just really carries.
Yes. His breakfast is the same way. His is stupid, but it's doable.
Oh my God, no. Go to the nurse and get that checked out. There's like quite a few kids who just can't seem to manage it.
It's not that hard. You fit, it's not comfortable.
It's not comfortable. It's not comfortable anyway, but like when I feel it go below my nose, I'm like, oh, now I gotta feel it. There's the one kid, Carson. Do you know Carson? He's middle school, yeah. And I mean, I don't know him, but I've just like heard him a couple of times. And Sarah does a hilarious impression of him, where he's just like, "This is ridiculous," because he like pull his mask down to talk. And he does talk like that too. Where are they going to get it? I'm a little confused though, because didn't she say, oh, she put in a work order and was trying to track down Harrison. So yeah, the guy that's not Reggie, the other one.
Oh, the other, okay.
Yeah, so I guess he knows how to do something. I don't know, but
our refrigerator's in service.
oh,
Just when it all started last year.
I remember that.
2 years ago, a year ago.
A year
2
ago?
weeks.
Oh,
My kitchen was totally gone due to incompetent people installing it.
I remember your wife's Facebook statuses about it.
Oh my God.
She was mad.
Ooh, she was not happy. Because we were even fighting. Hey, nothing I can do, but I mean, I have to find a freaking water and turn it off and on.
Oh my gosh.
I have one now.
Hi. It's such a pain though. My
Huh? No, I don't think I did.
You can if you want. I'm not feeling it.
I mean, we can talk about life. We want to start. We did that before, actually. You know?
Maybe this should be
Computer class?
easy to start. Talk about life. Sitting around and talk. What should be?
I'd listen to that
It
podcast.
could be a class. Maybe we get that accredited.
Why not?
After these.
We're getting
We did that today also too. We talk about everything that they should be doing now as elected leaders.
maybe we'll have you for our life skills class next year. We'll have you as a guest every couple weeks, once a month.
Nobody
That's
really
McClellan.
What's up?
call fireplace.
My Zoom is acting up. I have to restart it.
Okay,
Yes, yes.
that's fine.
Is it 9 o'clock?
Is it a new one or is it?
No, it's a new meeting.
No, actually, I'll be here. Because I have the thing at 12.
Okay. So first thing I wanted to mention was that yesterday, when it was not e-learning, but success session, I didn't mention at the beginning of class that you could also work on your Calvin and Hobbes thing from Tuesday, and I had it due yesterday. So I am giving you one additional day for Calvin and Hobbes. It's due tonight, because I fully intended to mention it and say you should be working on your essay or Calvin and Hobbes, and then I just didn't. Oh, here comes AJ again. So I think a couple of you have already turned in the Calvin and Hobbes thing, but not everybody. It's so weird, AJ. I've got 2 of you in here right now.
One
I
of them's
know
a
only
fraud.
one of you, but I don't know. And okay, and one of you is like there's only one of you now, but one of you was like staying unmuted the whole time, but then when you talked, the other one would unmute. I don't know. Very weird. Okay, so the Calvin and Hobbes thing is now due tonight. I will email you guys in the morning and probably again on Monday just to remind you of what to be working on, but both tomorrow and Monday are e-learning days, which means we don't meet through Zoom. Your criminal essay is due Monday night. So hopefully, if you guys have any questions or need to run anything by me about how you're doing it in the next couple of days, I'll have my computer on all day and we'll be able to get back to you. And you're also going to have one other thing that is due Monday. I just looked at it on Canvas and it looked weird to me, but and we're gonna do it right now. Let me actually plug in here because I'm gonna have to use this anyway. It's got a video with it. And I'll share my screen. Let me close the door too. I posted this on my social media. My brother-in-law said it looks like I eat VCR tapes. Okie doke. Let me get this shared. Looking at you. Whoa. This is due on Monday, but you could potentially get it done in class today. It's not a very lengthy assignment. Okay. If you look here, it's called Why It's Important to Listen to the Cynics. And we're going to watch a TED Talk. It's only about 7 minutes long, so not much there. I've attached this PDF here, and if you were to open the PDF, it looks like this. It's got the link in case you want to watch it again on your own later. And then it's got the 4 questions that you're going to actually be answering. And then everything else is actually the text of the speech. So that if you want to go back and look at it later more closely and look at what he's saying, that's an option too. So the 4 things, like, let's go ahead and look at what the questions are. So when we're watching it, you can pick up on some of these answers. The first thing is, according to the speaker, why is it important to listen to the cynics? Which is his main argument, that it's important to listen to cynics. It's literally the title of his TED Talk. So in other words, what is his main argument? For the second one, one clear strategy found in this speech is the use of definition, which you guys will see when we start watching it. In this case, he defines what it means to be a cynic. So how does the speaker redefine this commonly used word in his own way? And does it change your understanding of the term? The third one, an argument that appeals to logos can be broken up into 3 parts: if, then, and therefore. So you have like the premise or the problem, the solution and the proposal, and the outcome or the takeaway. I wish we'd already done a modest proposal, because this would be a perfect example of this. But you're going to trace the logical progression of this argument by kind of restating each part of the argument in your own words. And you can do that in any order. That's probably the most confusing of the questions. Basically, you're just saying, like, if this happens, or if this situation is true, then this is what we should do about it, and this is what the outcome would be. And the last thing, exigence. Exigence is like a fancy word for context, sort of like what is going on in the world that inspires someone to write this particular thing. So as we're listening to this, you're going to want to think about what's going on in the world. Why is this relevant to today's audiences? What recent events likely prompted this speaker to think about this and to decide that this is what he wanted to speak on? So let's go ahead and watch it together, and then we can kind of review these questions and see if you guys have any questions about it. And then I'm going to kind of set you loose to get it done, and you might even be able to finish it in class today, which would be great.
All right. Hello. Testing. Sweet. I hate to be cynical. This event, it could be better. I mean, don't we have an auditorium? And look at these drapes. Nice. Real nice. And these lights, those cameras, this red rug. Couldn't it be square? Actually, truth be told, I love to be cynical. In fact, I'm a cynic. A lot of you in the audience are looking pretty confused. You may be asking yourself, why would he openly call himself a cynic? Which I completely understand. Most of you probably have a picture in your mind of what a cynic is. You probably picture that one friend that says everything you enjoy is bad for one purported reason or another. But what if I told you that's not what it means to be a cynic? And that by the end of this talk, I hope that you too might find yourself to be a bit more cynical. Cynicism dates back to ancient Greece, to a man named Antisthenes, a philosopher and student of Socrates. Even though he created many of the cynic principles, we don't know if he was one. In stark contrast to the ambiguity of Antisthenes' status as a cynic, his pupil Diogenes embodied the philosophy. He lived in a barrel and cast away all his belongings in exchange for a life free of social constructs, where he could openly mock the Greeks for living in houses and bathing. Basically, he was that crazy guy camped outside your local supermarket that you do your best to avoid. But there was more to Diogenes than just a skin suit made out of grime. He was actually one of the preeminent philosophers of his time, who on one occasion even went toe-to-toe with the famed Plato. The philosophers had all attempted to answer one seemingly straightforward question: what is the simplest way to define a human? After much thought, Plato had come to the conclusion that a human is a featherless biped. Naturally, Diogenes couldn't allow such a blatant falsehood to be accepted by his fellow philosophers, so he plucked a chicken and threw it into Plato's academy, proving a naked chicken is not a human. The cynics had one objective, and the rest of their philosophy was centered around achieving it. They wanted to reach full mental clarity in what the Greeks referred to as eudaimonia, a moral philosophy stating that the right answer is the one that benefits the individual. They called these beliefs freedom from smoke, meaning to be free from false beliefs and conceit. The cynics thought that the only way to achieve this was by becoming entirely self-sufficient, through giving up all personal belongings and living as one with nature. They believed that in nature, where wealth, fame, and power held no significance, they would not be influenced by beliefs that come with a culture where these aspects determine a person's merit. They wanted to challenge the current definition of what it meant to be free, spitting in the face of the social confines that a normal citizen wouldn't even realize they'd put on themselves. These garish demonstrations of antisocial behavior included urinating in the streets, consuming rotten food, and barking their beliefs at passersby. It was this barking that earned them the not so affectionate nickname Kinnikos, meaning dog, which over time became cynic. Of course, when I say to be more cynical, I'm not saying that you need to give away all your things and live in a tree. The cynic school of thought believed that the only escape from false beliefs was to relinquish their societal shackles. But keep in mind, this was in ancient Greece, where a class system was embedded into their everyday lives, and there was no escape outside of their embracement of nature. Today, although there are still social classes that can be difficult to move out of, there are so many ideologies and isms that it is nearly impossible to have one universal set of beliefs. But therein lies the problem. Because while the Greeks had to deal with one widespread set of beliefs, the modern world bombards you with so many that the truth once again seems obscured. In other words, there's a lot of smoke. In a world where the media appears to be becoming increasingly partisan and the news seems more and more subjective, it can be difficult to differentiate fact from fake news. So, we must turn to the past to help us clarify our present. Just like the cynics, we all want to be free from smoke. But the way many of us go about clearing the air is the wrong approach. Most people always watch the same news sources, read the same authors, and discuss with the same people that cement their pre-existing beliefs. They are raised by parents who inject their own biases as early as their child is capable of understanding them. This creates a culture of tape player toddlers that turns to tape player parents that leads to the same cycle beginning anew, all because they are groomed to be that way. Told that a certain political party is the only one that really knows what's going on, and that every other ideology is wrong and stupid. This not only stifles their ability to think for themselves, but it also fosters animosity toward anyone that thinks differently. In the same way that the citizens of Greece were hostile to the cynics, who openly criticized their safe worldviews. To think clearly, you can't hide behind an ideology, always agreeing with whatever that dogma dictates. This takes away your ability to question, to form your own thoughts, and even to think freely. In order to think clearly today, you can't concern yourself with what different political factions are saying. Form an opinion for yourself, then find someone to dispute it. Don't be afraid to listen to other sides. Embrace them. Step out of your safe space. The world needs cynics because they're not afraid to say what's really going on. They believe in getting to the real truth, no matter what other people say that truth might be. It's because of this quest for facts that cynics often get themselves in trouble. Take the engineers who warned the Boeing CEO that there were major flaws in the design of the 737 MAX, only to be silenced and forced to watch them take off. Had they only listened to those cynics, tragedies would have been avoided. Cynics aren't bitter or negative. We don't hate everything. We certainly aren't trying to make you feel bad. It's actually the opposite. We care too much. We see how great the world could be and know that the only way to get there is through criticizing where we are now. So bark loud, and don't be afraid to get a little smoke in your eyes, because if it doesn't sting, nothing will change.
I don't know what it is that I just don't like about that guy. Like, I think
He reminds me of Blaine from Money.
I can see that. I think partially like his outfit with that.
But like, other than that, he's pretty boring.
He's like kind of, I don't know, he's got like something kind of smug about him that I don't really like.
He seems a little tricky.
He does. What he has to say is fine. His message is fine. It's just, I don't know, something about him I don't like. Anyway, again, I just wanted to mention that in case you're bored to tears with hearing his voice, the text of this is right here on this PDF. So that's really nice. You can go back through it if you need to. But you're only answering 4 questions here, so it should be pretty simple. Basically summing up his main argument, how he redefines the term cynic, and whether your understanding of what a cynic is different from having listened to this. Tracing the progression of the argument and why this is relevant to the world today. And I was thinking about that one as I was listening to him, because particularly about halfway through, he started mentioning a few things that are sort of like very relevant topics today. So if you find yourself going back through it, definitely pay attention to some stuff like that, like halfway through it. So any questions about this? Any questions about the essay? Since I won't see you guys until Tuesday. Okay. Well, I'm going to send you guys an email in the morning, probably to all my classes like I did when I was out this week, just to let you just kind of recap what you're supposed to be working on. And maybe Monday as well. But those of you who are virtual, if you would like to leave and work on this independently, you can. But I'm going to go ahead and turn all my stuff off, and y'all just let me know if you need me.